Dexter's Laboratory is an animated sci-fi comedy. The series ran for 4 seasons from 1996 to 2003 on Cartoon Network. The show followed the life of boy genius Dexter. Dexter was the original boy genius before Jimmy Neutron came along.
Got a blast!
He was a creative inventor who spent his days diligently working in his secret lab. He sometimes used his inventions as a lazy way out of things he had to do, like chores or study for a French test.
Omelette de fromage.
Dexter was a very serious kid. He was quick to get angry, and he was kind of violent. He was a social outcast who poured his energy into his interests and knew little about anything else.
Perhaps you could also fill me in on the strange phenomenon you call sports.
He was unathletic, which was an embarrassment to his competitive father. Dexter was competitive too. When it came to his studies, that is. Dexter's arch-nemesis was Mandark. From the very beginning, Mandark's presence was threatening to Dexter's desire to be the best.
Yes, Dexter, I can read your thoughts, and I am smarter than you.
Mandark got better grades, he had a more advanced laboratory. Dexter was so distraught about his new competition that he almost shut down his lab. The rivalry between the two geniuses was complicated by Mandark's crush on Dee Dee. Dee Dee was Dexter's loud, hyperactive, and obnoxious older sister. She was a carefree and happy-go-lucky character, the complete opposite of her serious little brother. Dexter did not have the patience for her antics.
Dee Dee, will you quit the bugging me? I'm trying to figure out a sneaky way of having this parent-principal conference without Mom finding out!
He was always condescending to her, but I think she was much smarter than Dexter gave her credit for. I mean, she managed to outsmart him by breaking into his maximum security lab almost every day.
I am Dexter, boy genius. I live by the laws of science, and I hate my stupid sister Dee Dee.
Good afternoon, Dexter. I will now teleport you to the lab.
She was a talented ballet dancer, and she also learned hip-hop dancing. She was fascinated by Dexter's inventions and always wanted to learn.
Ooh, what does this button do?
Unfortunately for Dexter, her eagerness usually resulted in the destruction of his precious inventions. Dexter and Dee Dee's home life was a portrayal of a traditional American family. The family lived in a 2-story home with 2 kids. The mother was a homemaker while the father worked. A running gag throughout the show was how unbelievably clueless their parents were.
Hello, honey. Hello, Dexter. Hello, Dee Dee. Hello, honey.
Dexter's parents were very passionate. Their father was kind of creepy.
Back in the grass and water the cat.
Give us a kiss.
Both parents were addicted to coffee, but they both had their own obsessions too. The father was obsessed with golf and, disturbingly, muffins, while their mother was obsessed with cleaning. She was so serious about cleaning that she once beat up a woman at the grocery store to get her hands on the last pair of latex gloves.
Would you look at that? The very last pair! Must be my lucky day!
I was a huge fan of Dexter's Laboratory back in the day. You could tell Dee Dee really cared for her younger brother, but he was so focused on his work that he simply saw her as a nuisance. The clashes between Dee Dee and Dexter were always hilarious, but those times where they had to come together were brilliant. I also love how Dexter was this super smart, dorky, and sometimes dramatic kid. His role model in life was Albert Einstein.
I have failed you.
He hilariously approached everything in life from a scientific point of view, like when he studied his sister and her friends like they were animals at the zoo, and the time he thought he was just average after a test result, so he tried to study how average people lived.
Hey man, this is Superfly, Red the Fat. I bet you know it, dude.
Dexter's character was a refreshing change to the main characters in other shows at the time, who were usually kind of boring. As much as I liked this show, there were some things I just didn't understand. Like, how did Dexter manage to keep a laboratory secret from his parents? I mean, it looked like a pretty big place, and Dexter did spend a lot of time there. Another thing that didn't make sense was Dexter's peculiar accent. No one in his family had a foreign accent except for him. Did this mean Dexter was adopted?
Dexter, I am your father.
Maybe he was born outside of America and adopted the country's accent when he was learning how to speak English. Dexter's Laboratory was an award-winning and highly rated show during its time. It was praised for its creativity, artwork, and comedy. Dexter's Laboratory helped launch the successful careers of animators Craig McCracken, Seth MacFarlane, Butch Hartman, Paul Rudish, and Rob Renzetti. However, the show did run into some controversies. For example, in 1996, the episode Dial M for Monkey was removed because it appeared to contain a stereotypical gay character.
So, let the feast begin!
The next year, in 1997, an episode titled Rude Removal was produced but never aired. That was because the episode featured Dexter and Dee Dee swearing, although the cursing was censored.
I got to find some food!
After watching an episode of Dexter, I for one felt inspired to make something of my own. Dexter was a visionary who was always looking for ways to improve the world around him. Even though many of his inventions had an element of fantasy in them that we can't quite recreate in real life, it still sparked one's imagination. It made kids dream of a futuristic world where technology could be used in ways we've never seen. It also showed how excelling in traditionally nerdy subjects like science and math could translate into some pretty cool things. Dexter's Lab was thus a great example of how important it is to always be yourself.
If you just be yourself, everything will be A-okay!
What do you think of Dexter's Laboratory? What was your favorite episode of the show? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, check out my other videos on 90s and 2000s shows right here. Until next time, my friends, dialing out.